seeing if y'all listening out there.
All right. We on. That's right. This is Power Moves with celebrities.
We back.
Athletes. Key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. Speaking of power, I know everybody loves watching the show Power. It's bananas. The attorneys getting killed. Everybody getting killed off on the show. But you know what? But this past Saturday, we had the Power Couples Ball.
Woo! Shout out to Power Couples.
The Power Couples Ball, the 10th anniversary of the Power Couples Ball, held by DJ CEO and Tampa Bay Tammy. That's right. They did an awesome job, man. It was Black excellence. It was beautiful. A great experience. Can't wait to come back next year to the Power Couples Ball. And let's talk a little bit about sports. Weren't we talking about Antonio Brown last week?
Oh man. Oh yes. It's something that you kind of could almost see coming way back.
It's like that car crash coming, like whoosh.
You know how you see the beginning of the movie, you see one or two things, you say, man, this is not going into at all. And we see this and we hate to look at how people who we don't know everything about how it came to be, but we know that in that position when you work with high level organizations like that, you get only so many opportunities.
That's right.
And you have to treat them with the utmost care in terms of how you manage them. And even when you're reached a level of success still has to be managed.
Yes.
And when you're given that opportunity, you really have to look at it for what it is. It's a window of opportunity. And everything around when you're doing it matters.
Yeah.
On the court, off the court, on the field, off the field, the people who are associated with you and helping them understand your agenda, because everything you work for 10, 15, 20 years, it can be taken away in a matter of seconds. And that's what I felt. That's what I feel like when I think about his situation, that he built years and years to get to this level.
Yeah.
And within a matter of a year or so, it seems like it's just falling apart. We hope, again, that nobody takes a fall like this, because it can really, change the trajectory of your life. But man, I just hope that all this stuff, it seems like people were hurt in this process. Seems like there are a lot of things that are going to be coming out that we just have no idea that's going to take it in lots of directions. Just be prepared as best you can. And I think our younger people need to learn, whether you're an athlete or a businessman or woman, we all can learn something about this
experience, right? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I think one of the things that I realize is who's giving you guidance, like, and you said it. He's, the team around him, nah, man, don't send that text.
Yeah, right.
Well, what are you doing? No, you know what? You need to take care. We gonna take care of it. We're attorneys or whatever case may be. Whatever your support system is, it has to be strong, and you have to trust in it, because if you don't trust in it and you try to do your own thing, it's gonna be ugly.
And when you're in that position, and it's very hard because a lot of people before. When you get in a position like an elite athlete or artist or high level executive, no one's in your camp has ever been there. No one can really guide you.
Right.
So you have to be very prudent in getting the best people around you to help you understand what your role, responsibility. This is why I always advocate for athletes to understand the minute you start realizing you have an opportunity to go to the next level, you have to start operating like a CEO. And people will fault that. You don't have to go all the way and get an MBA and get educated to have your CEO skills. You can begin to organize and lead by just reading and following people and talking to people and going places and learning. And we don't do enough of a good job taking the leadership role
properly.
And that's part of the issue here.
So we have a caller on the line.
Yes. Who do we got?
Hello.
Hello, hello. This is Karen Perkins. How in the heck are you guys today?
We are doing wonderful, Dr. Karen Perkins. I know you don't like to be, you know,
Full enunciation.
enunciated as doctor, but we got to give you your props.
Got to give the props.
We got to give you your props, and I'm happy that you're on the show because this show is going to be about emotional intelligence, and you didn't have an opportunity to get a chance to meet up with Kevin, but today I'm going to, you two guys are my emotional intelligence experts, and so I'm gonna ping pong off each other. I want you to have a great conversation. But what's great is we were just wrapping up our discussion about Antonio Brown and how his emotions really got in his way. Right? So
isn't that funny how they get in our way or they help us?
And that's why they need people like you and Kevin to help them through this. But I'm going to do a quick introduction to you, Dr. Karen Perkins, as your students like to call you, Dr. K.
Dr. K in the house.
Our esteemed guest is an international speaker. She's spoken in over 54 countries globally.
That's all? That's all?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. She's a 2-time recipient of the internationally coveted Presentainer Award.
Yeah, man.
All right.
She's doing her thing here.
Recipient of Top Speaker of the Year Award as well. She's a certified hypnotherapist. She's also an expert cold reader, meaning she knows how to read body language. Just by observing you, an expert in human behavior and personality profiling. She's an author of several internationally best-selling books, Emotional Power and Blooming into Your Purpose. And she has multiple motivational CDs, DVD programs, and articles. She's also a coach for that. So when people are looking to establish themselves, she helps them create the package. Mm-hmm. She's an executive coach consultant for over 20 years. She works with major Fortune 500 companies in providing that type of change management culture. She's an expert in that. Actually, she's ranked top 5 in the US. She's also known as the KPI authority for both business and individuals. She's a master in the science of mindset, internal programming, and like I said, emotional intelligence, a doctorate in business, emphasis in the science of human behavior, leadership change management, MBA in project management, CPM. I mean, she can't even put all the acronyms next to her name. It becomes a whole paragraph. Wow. And so the list goes on. But the key thing that I want to say is that if you need impact in your organization, if you need impact in your life, you got to call Dr. K. She strikes him. She strikes him out. So
he's listing all that, and I'm smiling, saying, "Gee, she must get bored easily because she also."
Well, you got to do what you got to do. So, I want to introduce you to Kevin Carr, my co-host, Mr. Pro to CEO, Mr. Transition, and we also call him Mr. Career Crossover. Right?
All right.
So, Mr. Kevin Carr, Pro to CEO, he is the founder of Pro to CEO, in which he's worked with the NBA. He's helped create and curate the NBA Professional Development League. He's been a major factor in the success of Michigan State's basketball program. He's also been a great impetus in the Florida State college program, not only in football, but even the golf team. Golf, tennis players don't get much props, but
we gave them props.
But guess what? When they graduate, they make more money and they don't get hurt.
Right.
But Kevin's also has put together some extraordinary summits called the S3 Summit, and he has his 9 medallions. The 9 medallion stands for champions. And what's going to be, and we always create a theme for the show. So what's going to be the theme for today's show under champions?
Well, I think Dr. K, I mean, she may agree or not, but I think part of people being successful is finding their gift, finding their passion. So passion is a part of what we're going to talk today with Dr. K. I'm so delighted to meet you, Dr. K, Coach K, K-rific.
K-rific, all right.
I'm just giving one more thing to add to your list.
I'm honored and privileged to be talking with you.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into this, Joel. Come on. Let's talk.
So Dr. K, tell us a little bit about your story and what got you to write Emotional Power.
Oh, wow, so many things. You get going in life and you learn these fabulous tools and these fabulous skills, and you use them, and you get comfortable, and then you realize when something dramatic or traumatic happens that you weren't really using them for you. I give great advice. I wish I just took it myself type thing. And
right.
I had several very painful events happen in my life, a few years apart. And as each one of these happened, I realized I had been studying, I had been teaching corporations and individuals, I had been seeing success all around me, but I wasn't using it appropriately for myself or my loved ones.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I was teaching at the time was emotional intelligence. And, two stories come to mind, and we don't have time, but one of them was a emotionally challenging as far as the person felt of no value and worth. And the other was the person felt great value and worth and chose to be happy even though everything in their life was going awry. And both in the end had some very sad things happen, but it was a difference in the way they chose to do things in my reaction and interaction with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what? Most of us don't understand our emotions, and especially, I know, no offense, gentlemen, but especially men, because you're told men don't show emotions, hide it, stuff it, pretend it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And women tend to do the same thing, because if we say something that's, oh, you're overreacting, you're being emotional.
Right.
And so we're told to hide it because there's logic and there's emotion, and people say, well, you're either one or the other. When in reality, you can't be one without the other. You cannot be logical without emotions, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't be emotional without logic. And that's a scientifically proven fact.
Mm.
And, I decided it was time to give permission to people to know that their emotions are okay, no matter how good or bad they see them, until we laugh and call it rap poo, until they recognize them, acknowledge them, feel them fully, can they then process them and then either use them or diffuse them to move on. But stuffing them and hiding them only harms themselves and those around them.
I like that. So take us.
Yeah, I like that line again. Was it use it or diffuse it?
Use it or diffuse it.
Emotion.
So when you were coming up and you began down this pathway, where did it all start? Like when did you get the passion to say, in this industry, I'm gonna lay down my anchor and I'm just gonna really jump into this? How did you know you had game in this world of emotional intelligence and dealing with people and how to get them to really tap into their emotions and understand them so they could be better performers at home, at work, at play? Take us there.
Honestly, it started as a child because I had to be very in control of my emotions to survive.
Okay, what do you mean by that? To survive? What do you mean?
I am the white sheep of my family, and
Okay.
I was tolerated my entire life, and still to this day tolerated somewhat. But I had to learn to be in control of what I said, what I did, what I thought, how I shared those thoughts, to survive. And I didn't realize that until I got into management. And I got into management and I realized that the people who were having struggles at work it wasn't because they were bad employees. It's because they were unhappy. It's because they were having issues. And quite frankly, I am the world's best manager, leader, boss. I suck as an employee. I realized very early on, I never had to discipline people. I just had to understand what their emotions were and let them understand what their emotions were, and then help them find a place of happiness. And, it started very, very early on. And people want the truth. People want to be acknowledged. People want to be able to not hide. And it's silly things. I have to tell you, the first time I realized that people just needed to be acknowledged for their behavior and the emotions behind them, it's kind of a gross story. Can I tell you a gross story?
Yes, you can. Just as long as we don't have to bleep you.
I was, you'll like this, no room for my name on the business card. I was the director of Utah State Parks and Recreation's Reservation Call Center. Yeah, no room for my name on that business card. Anyway, I had a young man who was in his early 30s, had never held a job for more than 3, 4, 5 months his entire life. And we brought him on during our peak season at the call center. And nobody would sit in the desk he sat in, and everybody made fun of him constantly. And the reason was he tended to pick his nose and flick it.
Ooh.
And let's be honest, that's a little disgusting.
That's a problem.
Yes, it is.
And, people are saying, you got to fire that man. And part of me went, oh, that's gross. That is not behavior. Yeah, get rid of him. But I realized that there's probably something emotionally that causes him to do that. So I called him in, and we'll call him Ted just for the sake of a name. And I said, Ted, you're a good employee. You answer the phones well. You do good customer service, but you do have a behavior that is not appropriate for this work environment. I don't know if you realize this or not, but you tend to pick your nose and flick it, and that is not appropriate behavior. Is there something I can do to help you with that? And the silence came, and I could see the emotions go over his face. First, it was, I can't believe she addressed that. Second, it was anger. Third, it was guilt. Fourth, total humiliation, embarrassment. Fifth, it was, she's not yelling at me, she's offering help. And sixth, it was pain, acknowledging he needed help and was willing to take it. So I came up with the game plan. And it was very simple. And, anytime you went for it, they'd say, hey, Ted, can I talk to you when you have a minute? And it was like instantly, oh, shouldn't do that. Within a few months, people were talking to him. People were enjoying being around him. He'd had his longest job he'd ever had at that point. And then I left the state and went into some other consulting. And I went back 2 years later, and up comes this young man, looked completely different. Standing tall, dressed to the nines, and he said, thank you. You're the first person to care enough about me to help me overcome that bad habit. And it's a habit I had developed. And he gave me the reasons why, and they were some serious emotional baggage. And he said, I've been able to overcome that baggage. I no longer do that. And I'm now the supervisor in my area.
Awesome.
Now, aren't I wonderful? No.
We're going to give you some hand claps anyway.
Is that he has some emotional baggage that created a behavior that was not acceptable. And most people will just ignore it and or get rid of it instead of addressing it. And I allowed him the opportunity to address it, and I didn't judge him because of it. And because of that, he was able to overcome that and find success in his life. Well, I realized then I had to go in and do this. And I'm going to tell you the big turning point for me. There were 2 of them, but I'm just going to tell you the one that hit me the most. I'm at a conference with these I don't remember. There was a couple of hundred top executives from around the world, and I'm speaking on stage, and I'm giving a very important message. And someone from the hotel comes in and says, "Ma'am, we've got a call for you." And I thought, who in the heck do you think you are interrupting me in this conference during this very important message? And I go out and I get on the phone and very rudely say, "What do you want?" And I heard, "It's your son." And I'll never forget my heart sinking. And time standing still. And the only sound I could hear was the clock ticking. As they told me my son was being rushed to ER for having attempted suicide. And here I am, this accomplished individual who teaches people how to have emotional strength, teaches people how to have empathy, teaches people how to buoy one another up. And I had missed the signs that my son didn't have enough love and didn't feel worth. And that devastated me for him. Yes, it devastated me because I should have seen it, but it devastated me for him that he should ever have to feel that way. And it was that moment I decided I was going to dedicate my life to helping people I love feel loved. People you love feel loved. People who need love to know that they're loved and that they are entitled to be depressed. But let's work on what we can do to get beyond it. They are entitled to be angry, but let's learn what we can do to get beyond it, to use it to our advantage. I mean, anger is a good thing if you use it to your advantage, if it's a tool and not a weapon. It's a tool if you use it to motivate yourself to action. I mean, look at the mothers against drunk drivers. They were good and angry. You know, look at John Walsh. He gets angry every week. But it's a weapon when you use it to hurt yourself or to hurt other people. It's a weapon when you get stuck in it. It's like resentment. Resentment's like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Yeah, get good and angry, but recognize that you're good and angry. Acknowledge what it is that you're angry about and then feel that anger. Just let it seep in and pour out all of your pores, but do it quickly. And then process that anger. Is this how I want to feel? What do I want to feel? How do I want to feel? Is that person worth this much poison?
Wow. So hold that thought right there, Karen.
First of all,
because you were dropping it. Woo!
Oh yeah, give it up,
man. So we got to get ready to go on break because we got to pay our commercials. And but when we come back from the break, we're going to continue on. So I don't want you to forget that point. Yep. Once again, this is Powermoves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, how they earn respect, and how they control their emotions for positive gains. All right. See you after the break. In Touch News, reality radio, where everyone is a star. Woo.
Williams Funeral Home, providing the highest quality, professional, and caring service for your family. Call Jeffrey Rhodes at 813-253-3419. That's 813-253-3419. Or visit him at 301 North Howard Avenue, Tampa, Florida. Ray Williams Funeral Home, for the finest care and quality service.
Hi, this is Trina Johnson with Caldwell Banker Real Estate, the real estate agent you've been looking for. If you want top dollar for your home or you're looking to make a purchase, call me at 813-244-6953. Again, 813-244-6953, and let me list your home.
Hi, this is Dale Day. Join me every Monday at 7 p.m. for Jazz at Miss Connie's house, bringing you the smoothest jazz and the coolest guests right here on In Touch Radio.
All right, we're back.
We're back. So, Dr. K, you wowed us. You actually took us to a place where, you were very vulnerable. We appreciate that. And, that's what we love about the show. We're very real here. And we talk about power moves. We talk about how people make moves in their lives to transition themselves to the next level. And you certainly have done that in the work that you do. So when people are having problems emotionally, like you are speaking about, one of the things that I've studied as a human resource expert to some degree. I try not to call myself expert because it's always something you can learn. But you're right on. People want to feel acknowledged. People want to feel respected. That's one of the number one complaints in the workplace, that people feel that they are not appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And that transfers into our homes, that transfers into, organizations that are competitive, etc. Talk to us about, well, when people are not at their best, particularly when you see someone who has had a very high profile career. We're talking a little bit about, you know, if it's athletes or artists or if it's executive and they have sort of what we would call a maybe an emotional breakdown. Where can people tap into to help them overcome the challenges that they're having before they, to some degree, self-destruct? Because we're seeing it more and more. We see people, recluse to their phones, and then when they really have to express themselves, it just kind of implodes. So, where are we going, that we're so entrenched into what we're sort of looking at and viewing, and we're getting so much information. So we're not processing as well, I believe, as we could be as individuals. And even, we're seeing lots of incidents where people are just kind of just all over the place. So if you could help pull people back in and say, when you're having challenges, how do you address those to come out better and manage it better and try not to repeat those problems that you're having, whether it be in the workplace or at home in your relationships?
It sounds silly and it sounds repetitive, but it all goes back to I got to recognize what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling that way.
Mm-hmm.
What happened that created this? If I like the feeling, create it again. If I don't like the feeling, okay, let's see what created it and what do I need to do to prevent that from happening again.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes it's events that happen to us and people say, oh, forgive and forget, or oh, just ignore it. I disagree. You forgive and you refocus.
Mm-hmm.
That which you focus on expands. If you forget, you set yourself up to go through it again. But if you refocus, then you can focus on what you need to do to improve. And, everything in life is a choice. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Viktor Frankl and The Last of the Human Freedoms. Yeah,
that's right.
Love him and The Last of the Human Freedoms. Here, people are dying all around him in these concentration camps, but not from the hideous things that were being done to them in his area. Most of them were dying because they gave up.
Yes.
And he decided he wasn't going to give up. And he saw those that were not giving up and those that were sharing their food and had minimal, if any, and those that had a good attitude and had hope, and they were surviving. And he said, they can take away my dignity. They can cause me to bleed. They can do all kinds of hideous things to my body and soul, but they cannot take away the freedom of my thoughts and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And, how thoughts become things. I'm in the process of doing a project with John D. Martini and John Asroff, Marie Diamond, Bob Doyle, Bob Proctor, Doug Vermeeren. And we're doing a movie called How Thoughts Become Things. And really, thoughts, the science behind thoughts is it's our interpretation of what's happening around us. And those thoughts flow through this itty bitty thing in the brain called the amygdala, which assigns it its emotion and its physical reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And those emotions and physical reactions kind of get us spinning. And what most people fail to realize is that those emotions and physical reactions, opposite emotions have the same physical reaction. I'm really, really excited. What happens? I get butterflies in my stomach. My throat gets all tightened with excitement and anticipation. My palms get sweaty. My heart palpitates. What happens when I'm scared to death? I get knots in my stomach. My heart starts pounding. My throat tightens and restricts. My hands get sweaty. Guess what? It's the exact same physical reaction. We just titled it differently.
Right.
So now when that reaction is happening, you have to tell yourself, do I choose to be scared or do I choose to be excited for the upcoming event? And this is years of practice. This is not something overnight you're going to do. But once you start realizing that it's all a choice and things happen to you, bad things happen, and you don't have to enjoy those bad things. You can have a heavy heart. In fact, by darn, you should have a heavy heart sometimes. But you can have a heavy heart and still choose to be happy, still choose to move beyond it. And yes, that sucks in it. Yes, it's horrible. Do I want to get trapped in it? Or do I want to recognize what caused it? Do I want to acknowledge the behaviors that led to it, the events that led to it, the friendships that led to it, the activities that led to it? Do I want to go ahead and feel sorry for myself, feel angry, feel happy, feel elated, feel whatever? And then once I feel all that, what is going to make me feel satisfied from this point on? I got to process it. Hey, I did that before. I don't have to do that today. Hey, I did that before. I want to do it again because I liked how it felt. So what do I do to get that feeling again? I'm going to process it. And then once I process it, I can say, okay, I'm going to use this emotion to keep going forward. And it might be I screwed up big time or somebody else hurt me big time that I had no control over. I'm going to use that to go forward to protect myself and now protect other people. I'm going to use it as a platform to help others or help myself. Or maybe it's I'm going to forgive for me, not for them. I'm going to forgive for me because they're not worth my energy. But I'm not going to forget because I'm not going to put myself in that situation again. I'm just not going to focus on it.
So I want to pause. I want to pause right there, Doc, because I mean you're definitely dropping some jewels here. But what happens, I think, is that all of this information a lot of time goes in one ear and out the other. So how do you? So how does one absorb this through osmosis, or how does one really get to? I have an answer, but I want you to answer it. How does one really, be able to be proficient in being able to do what you just did so eloquently? I mean, for you, it's so natural, right? For you, Kevin, you understand it because it's natural. But for a person that
no, I still have moments of depression and feel sorry for myself, and I have to remind myself it's really how I want to live every day. It happens to me.
Right.
I think it happens to everybody.
Okay.
We all hit that wall, as they say.
So when you hit the wall, can you share with us a simple exercise? So really what I want out of this little segment right here is, what is the exercise? What is the 1 to 2 tips that a person can use that when they hear this on the show that they can say, I'm going to practice that? Oh, I got you stumped, huh?
No, you got me. There's so many things.
Right.
It kind of depends.
I was going to say she's thinking.
I would say the 2 things that will keep you balanced more than anything is to smile or laugh. Laugh for 5 minutes a day, or smile for 20 minutes. 20 minutes smiling is equivalent to 5 minutes of laughter. And the 5 fundamentals to laughter are healing. I mean, period. It helps bond teams. You have somebody you have a hard time getting along with. You have something you can laugh at together, not someone. That's just wrong. But something you tend to be able to have that overwhelming need to slap them go away. It also conveys authority. People who can laugh at mistakes in themselves are people you want to follow. People who are you avoid. It produces the endorphins similar to morphine. I mean, it just pops up those look like they'll better get drugs and not go to jail for it. And it also it improves your productivity immensely. But most importantly for me is it opens up my brain to possibilities. It opens, when you laugh, it opens up your mind. It clears things away. The chemicals clear up to allow you to process and see things differently. So I would say the big thing, no matter what, is find a way to laugh for 5 minutes a day or smile for 20. And if you have nothing to smile at, you just force yourself to do it. And I've had to do that. And let me tell you, I am not a laugher. People tell me something funny and I go, that was funny.
So Dr. K, so how does one, like, seriously, like, people, you're saying smile for 20 minutes. Like, I'm sitting here saying for our audience, like, really? And you want me to laugh for 5 minutes? Where does that come from? How do you begin to do that so people can really begin some of this healing and use this technique that you're talking about? Because there are times where obviously I can pull up maybe a video and say that's my 5 minutes of laughter. Is that one of your things? That's where the laughter comes from, or you laughed at yourself about something?
Pull up a YouTube video of cats in bags or kids laughing, or my kids' favorite is Charlie the Unicorn. Yeah, I never understand that one.
I got you.
Whatever. When I hit the bottom of despair, my doctor made me walk. And he'd say, you walk 10 minutes away from the house smiling and 10 minutes back from smiling. And I didn't want to leave the freaking house.
Right.
But I committed to it, and I did it. And trust me, my neighbors were scared. Here I am out there walking with this smile that was not a real smile.
With the Joker smile?
The Joker smile. That's what I was thinking, like, yeah.
And, it's the gratitude. Write down 10 things you're grateful for. When I started doing that, I said, are you freaking kidding me? I have nothing to be grateful for. And I remember my ex-husband, now, at the time he wasn't, said, well, are you grateful you can breathe? And quite frankly, I was like, I don't know that I am. And so I started out writing down bodily functions. Forgive my language, but I started writing out, I'm grateful I can poop. I'm grateful I can see. I'm grateful I can sneeze. I'm grateful my eyes close and open. I mean, 10 things a day, that was tough.
Yeah.
Now, 10 things is like, I don't even think about it. A piece of cake comes off. And, in fact, I'll tell you, having kept a gratitude journal every day, even on the days that I hated the world, is what helped me survive my son's suicide attempt. Because those gratitudes kicked in. And quite honestly, there wasn't a hell of a lot to be grateful for at that moment.
I agree.
But there was. I was grateful he hadn't succeeded. I was grateful that he was going to a hospital that was a leading hospital in that area and how to deal with it. I was grateful I had friends that I knew would love and support me. I'm grateful I had the knowledge of how to support him. Okay, the gratitudes are there, but we don't see them because everything else around us is so horrifying. So I would say the 2 tips: keep a gratitude journal, even if it's just, I'm grateful my room didn't explode. Maybe. And until you can put real things, and then find a way to laugh or smile. And I don't care if it's YouTube videos or if it's whatever it is.
So
find a way to do it.
So Doc, a lot of people are hearing this term emotional intelligence and how to use it. How do you suggest people get more aware of why that's a real important ability to tap into? We're living in such a time where we're disconnected to so much, and emotionally people are sort of not as in touch with each other. The engagement is to somewhat lower. So now we have professional terms saying, I'm director of engagement. Well, we didn't have to say that before because you knew to engage. So now people are having to be taught how to be emotionally astute. So talk to us about emotional intelligence and give us a sense of why our audience really needs to take that very seriously as we move into the 21st century and things become more with artificial intelligence and all these other things that are happening around us. Can you help us there?
You guys have got some really good questions. I'm excited to hear your answers. I'll give mine quick, and then I expect to hear yours.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
I sat next to a gentleman on the plane the other day coming home from Canada that actually is one of the leading scientists for artificial intelligence, and we talked about that. And he laughed and he says, there is no artificial intelligence. It's just machines that run data. And our programming, our brain is just a machine that runs data. And it's the data we feed it that it runs. Period. And emotional intelligence really comes down to, well, to me, it comes down to three things. Mastering control of yourself. It comes down to influence for yourself and for others. And it comes down to finding the tools you need to get what you want in life. Everything we want we get from someone else. And the only way we can get that is to be emotionally intelligent. Social skills comes from emotional intelligence. You have to understand what they want and speak to them in the way they speak and listen the way they listen. You have to know what motivates them to ask for the things you want and get them. And in a manipulative way, but for them to sincerely want to give them to you. Emotional intelligence goes to that communications internally as well as externally. That internal, those 15,000 words per minute that's floating around in your head, telling you who you are, who you aren't, what you can have, what you can be. Our first hypnotists in life were our parents, and quite frankly, things they hypnotized us on were pretty messed up, as well as the things I hypnotized my kids on. Pretty messed up. We did the best we could, and we did what we did out of love, not knowing any better. And so, in today's society, many people would just as soon sit in a dark room and play video games or work remote and not have to go outside and talk to people. But the fact is, everything we get, it does come through somebody else, even if it's just our electricity, even if it's who developed the games. And if
hold
we
that,
have that
hold that thought. So write that down because we got to go to commercial break.
We're gonna
again.
pivot on that. So welcome Powermoves, where celebrities, athletes, and key influential executives share how they make money,
how they attract power, and how they use emotional intelligence
and
earn respect.
We'll be right back.
See you after the break.
Hi, I'm Donald L. Dowers Jr., your motivational guru. This is the DLD Motivational Moment. One darn second. America, since 2017, is suffering from a serious hiccup. 9/11 is seriously overused in a distasteful manner. Every day, the cops are calling on an innocent person of color. It amazes me that America has come down to this. A person of color becomes a person of interest. Waffle House, the dorm, Starbucks is a few. This is not the lunch counters, sit-ins of the 1960s. 2019, harassed simply for being black and proud. Hold on one darn second. This has been the DLD Motivational Moment. Pre-order my new book, Motivational Moments, at DLD282002 at yahoo.com or 813-394-5875.
Hi, this is Trina Johnson with Caldwell Banker Real Estate, the real estate agent you've been looking for. If you want top dollar for your home or you're looking to make a purchase, call me at 813-244-6953. Again, 813-244-6953, and let me list your home.
My name is Gil Sampson. I didn't come from a very rich family, and so paying for college would have been very tough. I don't know if I would have been able to go to the college that I went to, and then I don't know if I would have gotten into the career that I am in. So I think Bright Futures has done a lot to shape my life. I got a job as a structural engineer, and I design residential buildings, commercial buildings all over the United States. Because of Bright Futures, I was able to go to college. You know, so many kids just don't even ever get that opportunity. And to be able to do it and not have any debt when I graduated is amazing. And it was all thanks to Bright Futures.
Florida has created more than 1 million jobs in only 5 years, and a great education connects our students to these exciting opportunities. That's why the Florida Lottery has funded Bright Futures scholarships to help over 725,000 students attend college. Because every play is for education. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
So we are back. We are back, and this show is brought to you by Oxygen and myblesshealingtherapy.com. If you're looking for CBD oil, medicine, everything from skincare products to massage oils to aromatherapy,
they got it.
We got it from Jawan Howard, and also this segment is also sponsored by the Smile Experiment, serving single mothers and living elegantly. And you know, we only have about 13 minutes left of the show, my dear. So we gonna try to crunch in a whole bunch of stuff. Dr. K, did you want to finish up that point real quick, or are we good?
Jump in.
I think that's good, and I know you want executives and NBA players and folks that haven't hit the depths of despair, or maybe start doing it. If they have emotional control, if they have their emotional power, they can move and motivate everyone around them. And they can have people give them what they want and feel good about giving it to them. And that's really what it's all about. And helping other people get what they want as well.
Excellent. Well, I have something to share with you. So, you know, both you guys are both authors, have some great books. I've read both of them. Just to let you know, Kevin is the author of Meet the ERs, the ERs, and he's going to share with you what the ERs are. And I'd love to get, you know, some quick feedback on that.
Yeah. So Dr. K, we my company created I would say a product that allows us to deal with when people go through change, challenge, competition, success, and failure. It's all about how you transition out of each of those. And we created an animated group of characters that we researched, and we thought these were the most prevalent that happen when people have to deal with this change, challenge, competition, success, and failure. We found it a lot in sports teams. We found it a lot in corporate environments and in groups and leadership organizations. They're called the ERs. The four are the blamer, the clinger, the leaper, and the doer. And three of them are somewhat dysfunctional. The most functional one, obviously, is the last one, the doer. And we've been able to put them into animated characters and bring them into like sports teams and corporations and city governments, public service. We brought them into faith-based organizations. And I tell you, they've been a hit. So all of these really came out of the result of social and emotional learning and lack thereof in our society. We had companies and executives say, can you help us with this new generation of leaders that we want to cultivate? Can you come up with something? So we decided to do it in a way that was very, very creative. Would you agree that there are these tendencies in people that either allow them to place their emotional blame on someone or hold on to their emotions because they don't want to grow, or they leap ahead and move into areas without sort of having thought, and there are people who really kind of get it spot on? And I want to hear your take on something like this. Do you feel like it exists, and how can, you know, in your take on this, how would you look at it as well to help our audience look at how they can easily grab onto something this simple and begin to grow and develop?
I love your ERs, and
thank you.
they surround us everywhere. And
I agree.
I laugh. I say I have no allergies but one. I'm allergic to stupid people. They make me break out in a rash of rage. And I don't mean ignorant. I'm okay with the lack of knowledge. It's those who choose to not do things with what they know. And a lot of yours do that.
Right.
And I do believe simplifying it like that is what we need today. Because, I've gone into a lot of the science and yada, yada, yada. And my husband hates it when I say yada, yada. But but I got into the sciences because there are a lot of people that don't believe it's real unless you can prove the scientific basis behind it.
I agree.
But the fact is, we want to hear that it's backed by science, but we don't care and we don't want to go there. But if it's not there, we'll ignore it. But if it's there, okay, make it simple. And what you've done is made it simple.
Right.
And I love that. And, we've done the same with the personality styles. We've taken the 4 and made it 4 obvious animals. In fact, the head of DISC has asked if they can use the animals for their DISC training.
Wow. Okay.
But
Impressive.
Your A-type personality, your boss, they're your lions.
Right.
Jump out and do it. Your owls are your analyticals. And, their motto is get it right. The lions are get it done. And the lions will say, I could have done it 10 times the times it took you to do it once. And the owl's like, yeah, but I did it right. And the lion's like, it doesn't matter. You got your peacocks who are your salespeople who are just flamboyant and out there, and they're great negotiators. And you got your lambs who are your caregivers and your loyals, and they're the ones that take care of everyone else and make sure things are good and calm. And they all have no freaking clue how the other one communicates.
Right.
And now you've got these 4 that don't know how to communicate with each other and with their own kind. And then you've got your 4 ers. You've got a doer in every one of those areas. They're golden. But you've got any of the other ers in those 4 areas, nobody knows how to motivate them.
Right.
And they're the ones that really hold us back. So I love your animated R's. Those are fabulous.
And we're going to send you a copy of that.
People need.
All right. Yeah. Well, see, he's going to hook you up and send you a copy.
We're going to send you a copy.
An autographed copy of the Urs. Meet the Urs. So, and speaking of copies, because, it's all about making money here in Powermoves, one of the things. And, the fact that both of you guys have been authors and you especially have been a #1 best-selling author on Amazon. What did it take? And I know we're short for time, but what did it take for you to accomplish that? Because you've made money out of your passion. Because the theme of the show today is passion as our non-medallions. Could you share a little bit about that? Because that's one of your specialties, is that you help people, turn their passion into profits.
Which one of us are you talking about?
You.
I'm talking to you, Dr. K.
You know what? It wasn't something I did to make money off of. It was something I did to share with others, and people just were grateful and needed it. And my passion to help others, and it sounds, emotional power, all scientific, but you've read it. It's written the way I speak, and it's filled with lots and lots and lots of short stories that are true stories that bring the point home. And every one of them is poignant, and you go, oh,
right.
And you can read it, register it to your life. But it's those things that you bring it to the world, and if they need it, it makes it. If they don't, somebody needed it. And if only one person needed it and only one person got it, it was still worth it.
Amen to that. And I think
the fact that many did was nice, and it lightens my heart, because I know that there are people out there who are in a better place for themselves. But as long as one person gets it, the life's a better place.
Well, I think to answer the question that I asked you is that and you answered it. You were just being authentic. You know, a lot of people are always looking for, what's your secret sauce to be so successful? How did you become a bestseller? How did you, get that hit record? How did you? They were authentic, right? You are authentic in who you are. You dug deep, and that's where, and you have to buy the book, guys, Emotional Power by Dr. Karen Perkins, because there is a lot of power in your emotions. And like she said today during the course of the show, you just got to choose how you're going to use that tool, because that emotion is yours. That emotion is your fuel, but how you choose to use that fuel is up to you. So thank you very much, Dr. K. We're going to have you on the show. Because we're going to be, doing some things technical. So once we get to the point where we get that going, we want to definitely get some callers on the show so we can kind of, challenge
live challenges on the phone. Love it.
And we will make sure that you and Kevin Carr get together.
Yep.
Because I know, he's biting at the bit, and I know you want to definitely get with him as well. Because we're doing some speaking tours.
I feel some symbiotic love here.
That's right.
Doc, we want to continue to build it.
Feel the love. That's right.
So I really like what you're doing.
I know it'll take a second, but I'd like to share with you guys and with your guests a real quick, a free scientific personality assessment that takes less than a minute.
All right.
Really easy. So just text to the phone number 855-864-0532. Again, the phone number is 855-864-0532. And what you're going to text is LFC, as in living first class. So LFC animal, ANIMAL, all one word, LFC animal. And we'll send you that assessment to let you know which animal you are and which animal the people you're dealing with are.
Awesome.
So that'll be kind of fun to have.
And as a matter of fact, what's a good website? How do people follow you? How do they do business with you? It's all about your promotion now. Now is your time for your commercial.
Go to www. Hey, anybody else have that beginning for their website? www.dr as in doctor, dr-perkins.com is dr-perkins.com. And you can go there, and I look forward to just talking to people and helping them any way I can.
And what's that phone number one more time for the DJ CEO?
Yes, it is 855-864-0532.
All right, we got it. We're in there. That's
all right.
The number. We appreciate that.
It was a pleasure, Dr. K. We look forward to having you again. Can't wait to see you soon. And, we're working on our little project. So once again, this is Powermoves.
Yes.
Where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives like Dr. Karen Perkins share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. Yo, shout out to my man Ju Bernard, the Brooklyn Bank. I got the Brooklyn Bank representing for my real estate developer. We're gonna have him on the show in a couple of weeks. Brooklyn Bank, baby. Brooklyn in the house.
You always be repping home, man.
I gotta rep home.